Hello, my name is Baba, the first runner-up of Ghana's Most Beautiful 2017.
Ghana, my name is Ernadachi, aka Cyril from Yulena.
Hello, Ghana. My name is Sewa, third runner of this year's Ghana's Most Beautiful.
I want you to keep watching DMTV.
Keep watching DMTV.
When it comes to news, campus filler, and so many more,
Keep following on theRiseGhana.com.
you should go to ontherisegghana.com.
Keep following on theRiseGhana.com for all your campus news and filler. You can't miss it, trust me.
Frimpong from the Beposo in the Ashanti region, and I attended SDA Primary Middle at Agona. From there, I entered into SDA Secondary School, completed, and then went to Fosu Training College, came back to teach at Agona, furthered my education at Winneba Mampong campus, after which I was posted to Amaniampong in 1997. I'm a married man, and I have one child, a girl, who is also giving birth to 3 children, and she's now married, working at Forestry Commission, and she is now working at the regional office in Kumasi. She's because she's married, she's Yachampoma Adubwahi. My wife, she's in the person of Lady Asante. She hails from Achuma, Agogo, but currently she is in UK, and so she's not with me now. Talking about my status when I was posted to Amaniampong. But I came to Amaniampong as an ordinary teacher from the university, and so I began, my tertiary, secondary teaching from Amaniampong as an ordinary teacher. When I was first posted to this school, the then headmaster was Nane Dua, that is Emprim chief. He was the head of the school as at that time when I was posted to this place. I've been through several ranks and departments. I've once been head of Agric Science Department. I was also the housemaster for Akosa House. I was once the entertainment master, the school chaplain, and then I was elevated to Asan head administration during the time of Mr. Frederick Ade, who was then the headmaster of the school. Yeah. It's about 3 years now. Yeah. Okay, talking about my impact on the school as a whole, and especially talking about the students, I think I wouldn't be able to, normally it becomes difficult talking about yourself as to what you have achieved. Yeah. It's always better when somebody is talking about your achievement. But to say a little about my impact in the school, as a housemaster, you interact with the students and you have deviant students, truant students, but you try as much as possible to accommodate them, or give them piece of advice, try to rehabilitate them so that they will be able to fit into the society. Other than that, some of these students, if you are not careful, they will just be sacked and disciplined here and there. And so you try as much as possible to instill some kind of discipline in some of these students who would want to go wayward. As the head of department, you see to it that students within the department get the best out of the teachers who handle them. And so as the head of department, you interact with the teachers and then give them piece of advice as to how you share with them your experiences. And then also you interact with the students and find out their difficulties, and then you try to help them solve those difficulties. And for some time now, for the past 3 years that I've been the Assistant Headmaster Administration, I've been in charge of the SRC. And we've done a lot. We've made notice boards. We started with a platform for the general school, which we have not as yet completed. And the one most important thing that we have done is trying to put out a sick bay. But along the line, because of this government policy of not charging unapproved fee, you have to go through a lot of bureaucracy before some of these things are approved. And so we have been cash trapped, and for that matter, we've not been able to complete the sick bay. But I know after my exit, some other people will come and continue, and hopefully we hope to see the completion of this very important project so that it will cater for the health of the students in the school. Okay. Talking about my worst periods in Amani and Pong. When I was the housemaster of Akosa, it was then Mr. Duku who was the headmaster. And in fact, it was not I alone. In fact, the whole of the male housemasters had some displeasure with the headmaster. And so we had a lot of difficulties in doing our work. And so it escalated to the point where the regional disciplinary committee even had to come in, try to settle the issue. And so after everything, like the Akan adage goes, say ohini timiwa oro okoa efa wabeti, which literally wouldn't be possible. But once the person has the power, we say he can do it. And so after all these misunderstandings, we were asked to leave our post as housemasters, all the 4 housemasters. And so, in fact, during that period, it was a challenging period, actually not for me alone, but the set of housemasters that we had. And some masters were even saying this is not the only school that we can work in, and that possibly we have to find a way out and work somewhere else. But we said God's time is always the best, and we had to exercise some patience, and God willing, we were able to survive, and here we are having retired as assistant headmaster in the same school. Yeah, so in fact, that has been my worst period in the school. Talking about memorable occasions on campus, in fact, when I was the house master for Akosa, we normally came first during our inter-house athletics competitions. And it was a challenge between myself and my junior brother, Mr. Quay, who was also the Kwache house master. And in fact, those days, Akosa was one of the best houses that you could talk of, talking about athletics. Then also, when I came to the school for the first time, in fact, my special area was Agric, but then I was made to teach maths. It was one of my interests, though it was not my major. But I could handle the subject, said that I had some of my students getting A's in maths. And so, it was something that I really thank God for, not disgracing me, because it was not my major area. And so if you handle your second area and you don't perform, you know what is going to happen. And so, and then my relationship with the SRC has been one that I've actually liked. It gives you a lot of experience and exposure. In fact, for the SRC, talking about which year group, ever since I became the SRC patron, that I've liked working with, I would say, in fact, I've liked working with all the year groups because of the relationship that exists between myself and then the executive. But I would say Fallacy, as an SRC president, was actually up and doing. He was that kind of person who had this leadership quality, said that he would always want to do what is good for the student because they are representing the student, or liaising between the administration and the student. And any time that there was a need for him to talk on behalf of the student, he wouldn't hesitate. And then also talking about the current SRC, they've also done very well because there has been cordiality between the executive and then myself as the patron. And it's unfortunate that financial situation has crippled us, and so we haven't been able to do much. But I think I've had an opportunity to work with such a vibrant executive for the 3 years that I've been their patron, and I've liked working with all the year groups. Talking about SRC president that I've worked with ever since I became the patron, I remember I've worked with Ajenim Boatin, Fallacy, Clement, and currently the SRC president in the person of Safo Alfred. When I had my letter informing me of my compulsory retirement, I was aware because if you are a worker, you know your date of birth and you know when you're supposed to retire. And so it wasn't anything like a shock or whatever. I was expecting it, and so when it came to me, I really embraced it. But human nature as it is, leaving the school with this kind of students that I've been working with, it also, I was also a little, worried because leaving the scene with this beautiful SRC executive, and then the entire Maniampong family has been very good to me. And so, in fact, to that extent, I was a little disturbed, but I knew definitely I was going to retire by that. Well, talking about my family in connection with my retirement, I have been telling them, when you are getting to the retirement, you definitely know. And so you have to be discussing with your family, your friends, and whoever you come across with who matters. And so they were also aware I was going to retire by now. And so it wasn't anything new to them. So they also have to embrace it and then pray that I go out successfully without any difficulty or problem. Talking about people that I'm working with in terms of my retirement, in fact, a lot of them, whenever they heard the news, didn't take it lightly. So they felt I was not up to the age, and that I still have some energy to have continued working. But that is how it is. So many people, when they hear of my retirement, become so sorry, and they feel if it were to be within their powers, would have asked me to stay on for some time. But there is nothing that we can do about it, and so definitely they would have to accept it in good faith. And so, in fact, it has been a challenge to them whenever I told them I was retiring. Yeah, talking about what the school and then to say the entire community is doing about my send-off, I would want to, at this juncture, thank the management so much, especially the headmistress. When I contacted her about my exit or my retirement, in course of the discussion, I raised the fact that I would want to have some kind of send-off celebration, and she embraced it, and the entire school community have come to my aid, and all of them are helping to organize such a send-off. Erikus, the sports master, has also been of help so much that it beats my imagination. He has offered himself towards this my send-off, and so many of our people, and I would want to thank all of them, even though we have not finished with the program. The effort that they are putting into the preparation is something that is quite appreciable, and so I would thank them very much for whatever they are doing for me, and I'm saying that the entire Amaniapon community is behind me towards this my send-off program. In fact, talking about who I would mention as I'm leaving the scene, and always remember, is my junior brother and my very friend, Mr. Quay. I was with him at the university, and then we were posted to this school the same year, and I have been with him ever since we entered into this school. And so even people see us and they call us twins and all kind of whatever. And so in fact, he's somebody I will always, almost every day, remember him, because I have been with him for so long a time, and we are like, to say, a brother, a junior brother to me. And so he's somebody I would never forget wherever I am. My feeling about retiring the Ghana Education Service, whatever has a beginning definitely has an end. And then what I do believe in is that, in fact, if you waste all your strength working, when you retire, it becomes something else. And so I'm happy I'm retiring the education service well and fit, so that I could go home and then rest and have my peace, and then think of the little time that God has for me ahead of me. And so I've liked working in the Ghana Education Service, because teaching as a profession is something that gives us a lot of experience, because you interact with so many people, and so I've liked working as a teacher, and I've never regretted being a teacher. My message that I will leave with my people in Amaniapon is that united we stand, and divided we fall. And I would wish that the entire Amaniapon community work as a team and then be unified, so that we can all work together and achieve the success that everyone on this campus thinks about. Because if we should sit aloof and think somebody should come and do the work, we will not succeed. And so we all have to put our hands on deck and then work together as a team. And with that, the school can achieve heights. And then the students that we are also bringing up would also remember us having helped them also. My message to this year's batch of final year students who are about writing their exams is that they should have time to sit down. They have just a little time ahead of them to the exams, and they have to sit and be up and doing, so that they would also come out with flying colors, and then be able to enter into the tertiary institutions that we have, to join their colleagues who have left the school and are there. Amaniapon is one of the schools that you can also talk of. We talk about infrastructure, we might not be one of the best, but in terms of academics, I think we are on course. Talking about the old students who have been able to make it, Justice Anim, Mr. Dare, the former headmaster, then Madame Afaniwa, who also was the headmistress who just left, and then Madame Philo came in. They are all old students of this school. We can mention a lot of them who have been successful, and it is due to the fact that they also took serious their education, and that is why they have been where they are now. And so I would advise this current crop of final year students to also sit down and then be by their books, and that God helps those who help themselves. Once they prepare adequately, I know God will also shower His blessings on them, and then they will be able to write their exams and pass well. Contribution of my wife to me in the service has been enormous. In fact, my wife has been one of the people behind me who have made me who I am today, because without her, probably I wouldn't have succeeded in life. And I really thank her so much for her support. I love her so much, and I can't do without her. She has been offering pieces of advice, and anytime you have problem and you discuss with her, she will give you that encouragement so that you'll be able to overcome the situation. And so, in fact, I really thank her so much for her support, and I continue to love her too. My message to my wife, Lady Asante, is that I love her so much, and we continue to be together until death put us apart. What I would want to say to conclude this piece of interaction is that I thank the entire Maniampong community for the cordial relationship that existed between us when I was working, and I would wish that the relationship that we have built up would continue wherever we are, and then God willing, whenever we meet, then we will see each other as a family of Maniampong, and we will move on from there. I thank everybody for their contribution towards my success in this school.
That was it. There is a say that a nation that does not honor its youths is actually not worth dying for. Mr. Frimpong Manson has been a wonderful master, a wonderful teacher, a parent, and a friend to the entire Maniampong family and community. As he leaves, this is the piece we present to you. This is coming from DMTV crew and the whole of Maniampong population. He is inviting you to come here come 10th of March 2018, 11 a.m. early in the morning on Maniampong soccer field. Kindly come and join hands as we all see our dear father and Assistant Headmaster Administration as you retire from Ghana Education Service. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity also to express myself.
It's a pleasure working with you throughout our stay here on campus and even today. Okay. Thank you very much.
God bless you.
All right.